Hi, we're here today to watch a training day with some of the potential Olympic riders at Addington Manor. They're all part of the World Class Programme, so let's go talk to some of them.
Stefan, Ruth Edge, Lucy Biegsma, Nicola Wilson and Tina Cook we've got with us.
World Class Programme dates back to just before Sydney, and basically it's the World Class Programme that funds and supports this training. I do not in any way, and never do, think that the World Class Programme supports everything that these riders have to do. We're very lucky to have very supportive owners in this country that underpin the team's success by owning the horses, but also the riders run their own businesses that supports what they do. The funding we get from the lottery and the exchequer, which supports the 3 Olympic disciplines, eventing, jumping and dressage, and the Paralympic discipline of para-equestrian dressage, without doubt, in my opinion, makes a difference. But it's about putting the cream on the cake. And the people that really deliver the medals are the riders. They're the experts, they're the professional athletes. After Vancouver, part of the preparation for London, the BOA brought over some Canadian athletes and coaches to talk to the team leaders about Vancouver, about how they coped with the home games and the pressures and the positives and the challenges that brought. There was one athlete that stood up, and they gave a little quote, and it went like this. I won a medal in Vancouver, and that medal has 2 sides. The front of that medal belongs to the athlete, and this is the side that everyone sees. The back belongs to everyone that helped put the athlete on the podium. And fewer people see this, but without it the medal doesn't exist. What I hope is that the World Class Programme provides a little bit of the back of that medal. And each discipline we run 3 programmes. The performance programme, and the riders, the athletes that are here today are on the performance programme. The development programme, which seeks to identify human athletes early in their career and work with them as they build up through the pathway. And the equine pathway, which seeks to identify potential championship horses early in their career and work with them. We also, of course, work very closely with, in eventing's case, British Eventing, who run the sport of eventing in this country, and without the depth of competitions and the breadth of competitions we have in this country, I don't think we'd have the success in eventing that we have done over the years. I'm going to try and answer the inevitable question while you're all listening, and that's medal predictions for London. Guaranteed to drive any performance director out of the room running away quickly. As a sport, we completely support the BOA's more medals across more sports, and I think that applies to equestrian, and also the aspiration of UK sport to be 4th in the medal table. I'm not going to go into detailed medal predictions for various parts of the equestrian team, because I think our focus must and should be on helping the riders deliver the best possible performance they can at Greenwich. And if we do that, and if they do that, I believe that medals will follow, and there ain't a lot else you can ask than deliver the best you can. Do we expect medals in equestrian? Yes, we do. History tells us we should be winning medals, but I don't see any benefit in trying to analyse what we'll win or where we'll win it. It's about now, with less than 200 days to go, focusing on delivering those performances in Greenwich. What I can say is I think that Greenwich will show us the closest equestrian competition there's ever been in all of the disciplines. Last year Britain was only the 3rd nation to win team gold at European level in dressage. In jumping at the Europeans last year, there were 9 teams at the Europeans that had been 1st or 2nd in the highest level of team competition in 2011. I think that across all the disciplines we're going to see very, very close competition. And I do hope that those of you that are not directly involved in equestrian will come to Greenwich, because yes, it's had its challenges, it's had its critics, probably rightly so, but when we were there for the test event for London Prepares, I am in no doubt that that venue had a heart, and that heart was equestrian sport. And I think that when you see a stadium of 23,000 people full, it's going to be one hell of an atmosphere, and I think outstanding competition. So I'm going to hand over to Yogi now. I'm available if you want to ask me any questions. Yogi's the performance manager for eventing and the team manager, and many of you know him from previous championships.
Thank you very much, Will, and great to see so many of you here. Will alluded to that the Olympics is more than just one sport. As we know, it's across the board with a lot of sports, and it's a real privilege to be able to mix and do preparations and talk to people from other sports. And when the people from canoeing and sailing and cycling and so on come to us and start talking to us, they find it a little bit difficult to comprehend what our athlete is. And when I say that the horse is actually our athlete, they don't quite follow on to that. They say, well, that must be very difficult. And I think, say, well, my athlete has got one advantage to yours, and that is that they can't speak back to you. Because horses, as we know, they don't talk back to you. The riders, when they come and they speak back to us, we actually kind of ignore over a period of time. As they probably ignore us as well. But over the years, and Will alluded to lottery funding starting back in prior to the Sydney Olympics, I think within eventing we have put together, if you like it, a program that runs through the year that has fitted in rather well with getting the team and the horses and the riders prepared. It actually starts really by the back end of the previous season. So towards the November time, after the season is finished, I usually sit down and speak to the riders, and we look at what horses they have got available for the following season. We then discuss various plans what those horses need to do, and then come the new year when the horses start coming into the work again after their off-season break, myself and our team vet Liz Brown, we usually go around and visit the yards to see the horses at home when they are in the beginning of their preparation, to see a little bit what they are like, how they have come out after their winter rest. The riders obviously do most of their training from their home bases. They've got their own home coaches, but our dressage coach Tracy Robinson and show jumping coach Peter Murphy has spent a lot of time during the early part of the year going round to the riders at home, doing work with them when they have been wanting to, so that they get in contact with the horses and with the riders. This winter training, as we call it, in February, we've got 2 days today and we've got a few more days later on in February, is for the performance riders. We've got 10 on the programme. That's why we've got more than one training session, because in order to give everyone as much time as possible, with 10 riders, we will be quite limited to how many horses they can actually bring. But by splitting it up, then the riders can bring more horses and we can do some more concentrated riding. And it gives an opportunity for everyone to get together, to meet up and see what the horses are doing and what they are like. We usually come over with some themes that we want to work on in order to prepare for the season. And then towards the end of February this year, but normally beginning of March, the season starts. Each of the horses, particularly the ones that are in line for possible selection for the Olympics, will have their own competition program that will take them through the spring. Each horse will do some sort of major competition. A lot of them will go to badminton, some of them will go to Chatsworth. We've got some horses going over to Ballindenisk in the end of February. Some horses might go to Saumur. And then come towards the end of May time, the selectors will get together and they will draw up a list of horses that are, if they are interested for going to the Olympic Games. And all being well, we might even be able to announce at that time those 5 riders that has got the #1 caller. We will then get those riders together, do some further training with them, but we will also discuss the best preparation for that period leading up to the Games. So we will sit down and, together with the owners as well, decide which competitions would be the most suitable to prepare those horses to their best for getting them ready. Then there will be various training sessions where we will get everyone together, but there will also be a lot of work being done with the coaches going to their home bases and work with the riders in their own home environment. And but a lot of these riders, they are very experienced, so they will do quite a lot of that training on their own. And they all have their own sort of home team that work with them, coaches, physios, vets and so on. We will obviously communicate with them in order to hopefully prepare the 5 riders that will go to the best of our ability so we can produce as strong a team as possible. As we all know, with any sport, there are ups and downs, and there are going to be various issues of lack of form, etc. And no more so than equestrian sports, where you are depending on this athlete who can't speak back to you. But with all being well, hopefully we will put together a very strong team that will be well prepared. Thank you very much indeed.